It's Jazmeyne here. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. It's a little different setup because yeah, if you watch my vlog, you know what's going on. If you haven't watched it, you can check it out. But you know, don't feel obligated to do that. But basically, I've had this topic on my brain for a minute, and it's the topic of wealth. So a lot of times when we think about wealth, our mind immediately goes to money and just currency and just, you know, proving that we're abundant financially. And I don't exactly feel like that's what the state of wealth is. And I plan to do a video on states, so stay tuned for that too. But I specifically wanted to do a bunch of these videos because, like I said, if you watched my end of summer vlog that I posted things like 2 weeks ago, you can pretty much know what the heck is going on in my life right now. But I think it was very important to me to get this out while I'm at what is perceived to be a lower moment, or like while I'm having a bad experience or something like that, because I feel like it'll have a greater impact. And I encourage everybody to make their own videos, especially when they're going through certain things that they're trying to overcome, and not to just wait till you've overcome it to do it. All that being said, let's get into the video. Let's talk about what I believe the feeling or the state of wealth to be. So when I think about wealth, I was really trying to figure out what that feeling is. When people say, oh, I feel wealthy, or you know, I have just so much wealth around me, or get into the feeling of wealth, it's like, what does that actually mean? And for me, it's kind of like two feelings interchangeably, but not really, and you'll understand what I'm saying in a second. One feeling is relief, and honestly the feeling of relief is a feeling that goes with a lot of states, especially when you are moving from one of like desperation and lack and things like that and going into another state where it's basically taken care of. So relief is like a recurring feeling, a recurring vibe that can basically transcend particular circumstances, because once you're out of a particular circumstance, you're like, oh, I'm glad that's over, I don't have to deal with that anymore. So relief is like always like an underlying feeling. Another feeling would be security. Security in knowing that even if certain things are going wrong, you still know that it is handled, or it will be definitely handled in whatever way it needs to be. So I tried to think about those two feelings, and when you put it into the context of feeling wealthy, it's like, what can I feel that I have an abundance of? And what can I feel secure in? This might not be for everybody, but for people like me who are like super duper creative, one thing I always feel secure in is that I always have an idea. And that might not seem like a lot, but when you get down to it and you really think about it, ideas are everything in this world. Everything starts off with an idea, whether it's an idea from a human or it's like an idea from God or the creator or anything like that. It's always an idea, like, or a thought, like, but thoughts kind of feel like a little bit more general, so I just want to use the word idea because I mean, I feel like that fits the context of our conversation a lot better. But I always have ideas, like, and I know that I'm always going to have an idea to make something better, or to just get me from one experience to another experience. I'm always going to have an idea. I might not have a lot of money, but I'm always going to have an idea. And the great thing about ideas is that ideas are the foundation for multi-million-dollar experiences, multi-million-dollar lifestyles, and the products and the services that get them there. Anything that's been an innovation ever was an idea of someone who took the actions to execute it, whether they were the ones executing it themselves or if they had somebody else do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that comforts me and makes me feel secure. Like, all you need is one good idea. I have thousands of ideas for everything. People literally come to me and be like, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? I probably should be somebody's consultant, because I always have an idea about what somebody else is going to do, and I'm always able to help them execute the things that they're trying to put into place. So that's one way you can kind of look at it. Like, even if I'm going through something right now, at any moment, any one of my ideas, if I execute it right, I'm able to, you know what I'm saying, like, take off. So that makes me feel good, and that makes me feel like, and to be honest, I always have, like, I feel like I have too many ideas, like, to really be, like, for real. I feel like I have too many ideas all the time, and I know that my ideas are usually good, because a lot of times I don't act on them, and then I will see somebody else act on the idea, and it's like, now they're like a millionaire. Let me tell you one idea I had that I'm like, what the heck? Well, I don't even know how I would be able to execute that. But you know the show Lip Sync Battle? I think it's LL Cool J and Chrissy Teigen. I had an idea for that show when I was in 8th grade. I called it Switch or whatever. I was like, it would be cool. It would be a cool show to watch celebrities sing other people's songs. I mean, there's a little tweak in there, because I was thinking like artists sing other people's songs. But I'm like, I had the idea for that show. It's music video ideas. I think I talked about this in another video. Music video ideas I've had, like inventions I've had. And one way to kind of tap into that is to think about the things that you're complaining about. You're like, dang, I wish this had this, or I wish this could do this, or I wish there was a way for people to blah 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 blah. That's an idea. And you probably don't even realize, like, you have an abundance of ideas. You have a wealth of ideas that can possibly change your entire world, change the world in general, but, you know, change the world for you and your family, and change your whole situation. Those are things that you should think about. You know, some people feel like they have a wealth of love coming from their family and their friends, a wealth of like activities. Or even if you're like unemployed right now and you just at home just watching YouTube videos, you have a wealth of time, because there are people that feel like they have too many jobs and too many obligations where they don't have time to like sit and breathe. So the idea is to basically look at what you have going on right now, things that are going for you that you might not necessarily realize are working in your favor, and to just kind of like bask in the security of that. And I'm not that type of person to be like, oh, at least you could do this, at least, like, oh, it could be worse. I hate when people do that to me, so I don't do that to people. But you want to take a real good objective look at what's your situation right now, and I mean go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Like I said, your ideas, most people don't even think about that when they think about the idea of wealth. They're not even think about the idea of wealth. When they think about being wealthy, they would just be like, you know, well, I don't really have much in my account. But even if you have the idea to go find a job you don't really care about, but you succeed in that, that's an idea that when executed brought, you know, stuff to you. So that's my video on wealth and what it means to me, and just being in that state, how I tend to get in that state even though my bank account is wide open. Wide open for receiving the financials. I hope you enjoy. Well, I intend that everybody who watches this got what they needed from it. And if you have any questions or anything like that, you can just let me know in the comments below.